throughout the course of Spring Split, so they wanted a bit of safety somewhere. They've already gone kind of all in their lanes. Draven needs to get ahead. Fiora plays much better from ahead, so Afrika Freaks mixing it up, and it feels like they've used their off-season time in pretty trademark fashion, and Marin bringing back an old favorite. He was a legacy Fiora player in and out of meta, just like his Rumble and Renekton, and we get to see some duels up top.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you mentioned duels, but a duel on the side of Ever8, we had the the pleasure of talking with the team, and you specifically asked him about Draven. What is your opinion on Draven? And he said, I don't think that it's good right now. His first match in LCK, he's got to go up against it.
And can be a level 6 jungler if you so choose. Lanes he has to gank for are good on the CC side, but until level 6, especially in mid lane,
check the brush.
Don't quite have the damage. Nope, not going to check the brush.
Well, he's just going to be in vision. Spotted out. Had the first backs come through there from Septed and Kuro. So you're just going to be that Merc Treads here for the side of the Taliyah. Lost Chapter or Septed. So nothing too shocking.
One item we will most likely see on the Taliyah that continues in the trend of item indirect nerfs is going to be the Banshee Veil, you'd imagine. Banshee Veil, if you guys haven't been keeping up, is no longer a tank item, very much an AP itemization. Blasting 1, Fiendish Codex, and just a null magic mantle is the build path there. May lead to interesting cases where mid laners will go double Doran's Ring into double null magic mantle, because you loved sitting on the Negatron cloak in the past, but Negatron doesn't really build into any offensive itemization outside of Wit's End now, so less of a pick. Here comes Kuro.
There we go. Yeah, that's going to be a gank coming up the top lane. Kuro and Spirit here. Jump on top of Helper. The wall's there. Nowhere for him to go. That's first blood over to Afrika Freaks as the Taliyah picks it up.
Nice roam from Kuro. Spirit as well. Team of one mind. Good to see. Sort of razor-sharp preparation that we're hoping for.
Really just no vision there for Helper. Nothing in the
setup, but it's fun when the identities are kind of contrasting, because Ever8 really do want to be able to go for the 4-man commitment to mid, but if Fiora's got kill pressure on Shen, that's not going to work out so well.
Might have a bit of a clash here as the blue buff started up by Spirit. Marin did back off. Now Malrong coming around the side, does not have the smite, will not be able to take this away, and throws in to back him up. Malrong, does he want to pursue this? As the Stand United coming through, dashes forward, gets on top of Spirit, and he gets taken out. Septed finding the kill now, slowing up Kuro with that newfound red buff. Raven's ultimate comes through, not going to find the connection from home base. So won't get much damage down. Just going to be the 1-for-0 in favor of Ever8. They put a kill on the board.
Big mistake there from Tucson. He actually shorted on the W. The Dark Passage didn't go over the Raptor wall, so had to actually flash over to get to the W. Did Kuro, so that was actually a very large mistake, adding an extra summoner to the woes of Spirit being taken down. Nice collapse from Ever8.
Yeah, and now they're just looking for more in the mid lane. Sonic Wave comes through, kick back on the Dragon's Rage. Kuro goes down, and Septed finds his second kill, nicely executed by Malrong.
Cleanly Sin is a meme, but Malrong is one of the cleanest Achilleos. Super nice on the kick flash there. Was it necessary? That part I can't 100% tell you, but sometimes better to be flashy than it is to be necessary, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Nicely done by him. Maybe getting that confidence up now with his big debut on the LCK.
It has warped a little bit. In previous seasons you needed to, and they both get super low and have to recall. Now, if you have a jungle item as a Graves, you can solo it, so it does less damage. It is faster to take, but still a lot to learn about it as an objective.
Oh, that's going to be the flash forward here. Unleash Power comes through. They get the stun. And that's going to be the resonating strike from Malrong, straight in underneath the turret. They find another kill.
So the mechanics there were really cool to see. He opened with the ultimate, so he definitely hit a stun. And when the stun registered, no chance you can miss the Q. So that was not fishing for a Q and then stunning. That was leading with the ultimate, because they knew that the CC was enough, because there was no way Malrong was going to miss that Q. He's definitely listening to his youngs. I imagine he's not doing too much shot calling himself. Korea is a very age hierarchical system at the best and worst of times, so whoever's initiating it, it is very clean between Malrong and Septed so far.
Yep, nicely done. That's going to be the swap coming through here as Duel and Ella make their way up towards this top lane, just trying to give Marin a little bit of trouble. But in the meantime, Spirit joining his bottom lane down under this turret. Malrong here to back him up as they try to get some damage down. But the wave thinned out considerably. They're going to have to kite back a little bit, delay this take on the turret. Meanwhile, Helper all on his own, some down in the bottom lane. Draven not going to connect, but it doesn't really matter. Kramer still comes up with the kill.
But obviously not to know at that time.
It was really close, so better safe than sorry, but that just means that Kuro's going to be that much more susceptible to being ganked. Speaking of which, Spirit tries to run at the Syndra, but Malrong there to back him up. Yet again, the synergy between these two on point. They take him out. That's going to be the blue buff handed over to Septon.
You can kind of ask the question, why was Spirit there? There was no one else on that side of the map. Marin was still coming from base. They'd never prepped vision in the area. So even Spirit's ultimate was not going to be anywhere near enough to take him out of harm's way. And just another free kill kind of passed over to Everett.
Nice little pickups, and I mean, Afrika, they need to tighten things up. Had the lead, now being matched by Everett. So they keep handing over these minor objectives, these kills to the side, especially Septon. He's just going to get more powerful on this Syndra and can suddenly, you know, basically 100-0 just about anybody that's not Spirit.
Tucson caught, looking for a pick. They also have Marin coming up.
Pitching down from below, dashes forward, gets in on top of Malrong, at least for the start,
okay.
But Tucson walking in by himself gets absolutely destroyed by the Syndra. Now Everett going to seek to turn this one around. Malrong throws out that Sonic Wave, lands in onto Koro, but it's a bit too hairy for him to dash forward with the resonating strike. So, you know,
they're looking for picks. This is Marin coming up for a pick, even though they're strongest in a 1-3-1. And Tucson's like, okay, I'll come up with the pick. I'll get the catch on one side against Shen ultimate and a Syndra who's fed. And what do actually get on screen the first trades between him and Shen, because Marin's 2 levels up and plenty of items.
Well, Duel's walking forward. Junk's starting to come through here from Kramer. Answers to that 90 Cattle Burnett. Now that's Stand United coming down onto the Caitlyn, but it's not going to be in time. He already gets taken out. The kill goes over to Spirit. Ella going low, gets taken out. The cash in coming through from Kramer. Big burst of gold over to the Draven. And now Afrika Freaks finding 2 kills. Do they want to turn over onto this Baron? Still very early on, 25.5 minutes just about. Seems like they'll go ahead and gain vision priority at least. Septon keeps them busy, lands the stun in onto Koro, chunks them down quite a bit. Will they turn over for this? Looks like the answer is going to be yes. Everybody piling in. Marin waiting over the wall to come in from behind. TP's going to be burned out here by Helper, trying to join in. Throws out that
nice turn.
Unleash power, finds the first kill in onto Tucson. Now Septon running for his life. Grand challenge was thrown down. The kickback comes through from the Dragon Rage, but Marin dashes forward, completes the challenge, finds the kill in onto the Syndra. And the rest of Everett have to kite back, but the Baron gets halted.
Oh, the Baron Seesaw was so cool to watch, Achilles. The moment that we saw Septon open up, got the first kill onto Tucson, but nice turns. We're going to see the long replay here, and the first thing to take away is that Syndra is accounted for. Syndra was already seen mid lane. They don't have to respect her power, and that means Kramer can get frisky. That means they can look for picks in a scenario that's hard to recreate, because usually Syndra will be grouped with her team, so they start up the Baron. That's the big objective they want to claim with the 2 picks, but Syndra's the one with all the gold. And Syndra's only job here truly is to stop the Baron going down, which happens. There was some nice flashy mechanics in this. Good flash away onto Tucson, takes him down. Kick from Malrong was good too. But Marin's positioning, he spent so long waiting to get in the back line. He took down Septon, and that meant there was never going to be no true turn, and it ends up being pretty much a 50-50 between the teams.
All in all, 3 for 2, I believe, across the board with Duel and Ella going down. But they get the stop on that Baron. That was going to be the biggest.
With the Void Staff. Malrong trying to get aggressive vision, but can't contest control wards with where the game's at right now.
Marin just trying to take away as much as he possibly can. Moves over to the red buff. Gets that one out. Taunt comes through. Do they want to try to collapse onto this? The stun comes down, and Septon finds the kill, his 5th of the game. 5-1-3 on the Syndra. And now a red buff, just to make him that much more of a nuisance.
I mean, you can say that he bought time for Afrika to go top, but again, the reality of not giving any coverage from Marin means that either he has to be less aggressive with his split pushing, or they need to ward up for him.
Oh, they're going in deep for this one. A Missile Voyage coming through with the Shen ultimate on top.
They cannot mess up around Kramer.
Trying to wrap around. That's a double stun coming through. Sonic Wave comes down in onto Spirit, dashes over, looking for Tucson is Malrong. Gets a bit of damage thrown down onto the Thresh. Doesn't quite predict which way he's going to move, so the Sonic Wave doesn't come through for a second time. And this is Everett losing time that they can have on the Baron.
They turn onto it now. Baron damage is decent on their side, but now we're going to see Afrika with the contest.
12 seconds here on Marin. Still has the TP available, and there's a ward in the pit that has not been cleared. Weaver's Wall comes down, cutting them off inside the pit. Septon going to have to do some nice gatekeeping. The hook going wide. Baron goes low. Malrong able to finish this one off, and now Spirit walking forward, but has to kite out of there as best as he can, but he does not get anything. Goes down in the exchange, and Septon finds another kill. Now
Still want this.
coming in from the sideline. Will
Look,
dash
Caitlyn.
forward, getting locked down immediately. Gets a riposte off, but still can't mitigate enough. He gets taken out as Ballrong finds the kill. 2 dead on the side of Afrika Freaks, and Ever8 winners come up with the Baron.
Yeah. Fiora only a pseudo frontliner, and even though the hook landed on Caitlyn, she could flash defensively. No one else could get there. So you felt the hype of a sick hook, but not actually the reward. And you get out with the Baron buff if you're Ever8. And suddenly, the game plan of Afrika Freaks kind of falls apart because split pushing against the strong Siege and Baron buff on the side of Ever8 winners is going to be impossible to pull off. We're going to see the replay, the control ward in a great spot. They knew what was happening into the Afrika Freaks. You can see Spirit coming in, ghosting in, but the smite is true from the side of Ever8. They just take out Spirit. And you could think, okay, they lost the objective, they're going to back out. They really were feeling this. Marin made the clean call to go in, but a hook onto Caitlyn and no Dark Passage means that no one else is going in. And how many auto attacks does Kramer get off? And they'll disengage. So many Fed damage dealers. Speaking of Fed damage
over
dealers,
the wall. That's going to be the unleashed power yet again from Septon. Just rips right through Spirit. Hot knife through butter. The Spirit Visage, the Spectre's Cal is just not cutting it.
when a 4-item Olaf is hot butter, lets you know that the Syndra is unbelievably fed. The bus driver, as he was anointed, we were actually at the Ever8 Winners Gaming House, and we were told Septon is our bus driver. If you're not actually familiar with that expression, in Korea, the carry, the person who you're looking for to carry is the driver of the bus. The team is the bus driver is Septon, and the analogy is playing out perfect.
Well, I mean, they also said that they needed something a bit more faster pace, so maybe he'd be the taxi driver, and he's definitely put the foot on the accelerator.
You know
so
what?
far.
I'm going to reward Ever8 because they've played smart.
4,000 gold in the lead. Ever8 in a nice, comfortable spot. Still one miraculous team fight from the side of Afrika Freaks. Could turn the tide of this, but now Marin getting caught is just going to put a cork in that one. He goes down. All wrong, finding the kill. Says, you know what, Septon, you got to share these a little bit with the rest of us. So he takes one away. 5-0-3 on the Lee Sin.
I don't think Septon feels like he needs to share. This might be one of the greatest champions debuts of all time. He has 100% kill participation, 7-1-5 on Syndra, who isn't necessarily known for high kill participation, but the game has revolved around the Syndra's power, and Ever8, they've gotten on that bus, and that bus is probably going to get them an inhibitor.
And look at this, the fast track into this mid lane. Still, it was Kramer and Tucson hovering around that top side of the map. Now the turret's down, the inhibitor's exposed. It's just going to be taken out by Ever8.
But there's no answer for a freak thing. You have to commend for a new squad. They're taking objectives and then backing away before Kramer can get 3 auto attacks, chunk someone out, and really change the course of a fight, because there really haven't been many 5v5 fights in this game at all.
Here we go. Weaver's Wall thrown down here by Kuro. A bit blind, but actually just cut
Septon's
Septon off from the
completely
fight.
out.
The rest of the team collapsing in from the top. Ballrong
Alright.
goes down, gets the kick in straight onto Kuro, into the face of Septon, and he takes him out. Dark Passage will yank Spirit out to safety, but now with Kuro taking down all of that poke damage that Afrika need to rely on around this Baron is gone. They'll go ahead and start this one up.
Now let's see if Olaf goes for another express engage, because this Baron's going down fast.
I mean, look at the trap line thrown down here from Duel, just trying to keep them gated out. Tucson goes low, one more hit would have finished them off. Ace in the hole comes through, but Kramer there to buy.
And he's out of mana, so you should feel no threat at all of a teleport gank if you're Ever8.
Mid lane wave being brought up. Weaver's Wall comes down, cutting off a couple members of Ever8 here.
Cuts
Just
off the
Duel and
minion
Alpha
wave,
in the
if you
front
notice.
side.
That's pretty cool.
It does delay them a little bit there. So probably one of the best Weaver's Wall we've seen from Kuro so far during this game, but it's really just holding the inevitable, delaying it just a little bit here. As that turret does go down, looking for that third inhib now. Marin, just no way for him to push up. Has to show so much respect to Septon and Mulrong alike.
3 inhibitors down.
In. Yeah, Tucson still not able to find these death sentence. Needs to find a miracle hit in order to turn something around for Afrika Freaks. Just does not seem likely. Now it's all about just waiting for these minion waves to crash.
Actually getting them to have 2 at the same time might be more of a difficulty, though. The bot lane minion wave's not coming. Mid lane still about 8 to 10 seconds down, so for now at least no threat on the turrets.
We're cheating forward. A couple hits coming through here from Duel. Has those minions to the top side. Still Baron empowered, so going to be a bit tankier. Mid lane inhib comes back up. They'll be able to take that out instantly. As the next couple waves get ready to come through. That first Nexus turret ready to go down. Next push forward should see that one, maybe even more, maybe just the game here for Ever8. Pressure on, Hook comes down onto Helper. They're going to drop the box. He dashes away, and the Devourer is there, but Ella gets knocked in by the seismic shove. Still makes it out safely with the flash. The first turret goes down as Joel finishes this one off. Tucson not going to connect onto that death sentence. Now it's do or die time. Septid pushing forward, looking for some damage, trying to get rid of that Thresh, that pesky death set and spot. Just desperately wants to lock down the Syndra. Won't be able to find it here. But now look at all those super creeps. 4 in this bottom lane wave getting ready to push forward.
Yeah, the desperation's there from the side of Afrika. That much is clear.
Weaver's Wall not quite going to cut off those super creeps, however, so they're still pushing in. Getting ready to eat those turret shots. Q comes over from Septid, jumps out Tucson. As they push in for the finish, that's going to be the ultimate coming out. Unleash power in on the Curl, jumps him down to about half HP, but can't follow up for much more because the Devour has to come down. Now Marn and Spirit pushing forward, looking desperately for a kill onto the carries, but they're cutting back into the back line so effectively now. Flashing forward as Duel finds the double kill, finally putting some kills on the board for himself. Will not finish with 0, but they will close out the game. 43 minutes just about from Everate, tripling the kills of Afrika Freaks.
And the curveballs in the draw for Afrika Freaks did not pan out, and the curveball in the game was the level of play from Everate. They looked significantly worse than, say, Jin Air, for example. They're very comfortably qualified for LCK Summer. It was much more toiling for the side of Everate winners, but you can see the team looks pretty jazzed, and they have a lot to be proud of because their preparation and just the level of clean macro, inspired play between Septid and Malrang. Everate winners, you wanted to put them in that 9th or 10th space box that previously Kongdu Monster occupied, and suddenly it's only a single game, it's only the start of the season, but there's a lot to like about the side of Everate. And on the side of Afrika, they tried a lot of things at once. Risky draft, low wave clear, the Draven and the Fiora at the same time, self-counter picking in mid lane, and they were put to the sword. So well played to Everate. Not going to pass a judgment on either. We've got a lot of season ahead of us, but all you can do is commend Everate on how smartly they played game 1.
Yeah, we still have the rest of this match to go. Everate going to be looking to close things out with a 2-0, but Afrika Freaks looking a bit flustered. Marn especially in the booth after that game, you know, handed that big powerful pick for himself with that Fiora, but just couldn't find the impact in those late fights.
Yeah, they demanded the Fiora, you know, picking it and then banning against it, but didn't really have a plan on making it win. He got the farm lead he wanted, he got the items he wanted, but never did we see solo kill on the top lane and turret goes down. They toiled in many ways. I think you got to keep it simple if you're Afrika. Just draft pushing lanes.